Good afternoon. Welcome to the Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm President Dave Alexander. Honored to be in this role this year. Has anyone ever tried to go on and find a rock pop Thanksgiving playlist? There are none. However, Google AI helped me out, gave me a little help, and the first one that came up was Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant Massacre. His folk story involves around Thanksgiving. Not appropriate. But then there was this one. And what song did we just hear? No. No, didn't hear enough of it. That was Thank You by Hell Again. We'll get to that in a minute, Roger. By who? Sly and the Family Stone. What year would you think that would have came out? 1970. It was number one on the Billboard Soul chart that beginning of 70. Sly Stone was the producer, and he wrote that tune. And thank you for letting me be myself. And if you ever saw the song's lyrics, it's called Sensational Spelling. Okay, and that's where you use non-traditional spelling for special effects, which is the for letting you be myself. Raj, I do that all the time. Spelling is not my best. Okay, enough. Today's program will be ICCF Community Homes, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Susan Crane will have the reflection and the four-way test at the end of the day. We will then dismiss. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Susan?
Let us pause for a moment of reflection. Today, as we gather in fellowship, we give thanks for many blessings that enrich our lives: family, friends, health, opportunity, and the privilege of serving, and of serving others. In this season of gratitude, we remember that Thanksgiving is not only a holiday, but a spirit, one that calls us to recognize the good around us and to share the generosity with the world. We also give thanks for Rotary, for the friendship that binds us, for the service that inspires us, and for the vision that unites us across communities and culture. May the Rotary motto, service above self, continue to guide our hearts and actions. Bless our time together today, strengthen our purpose, deepen our compassion, and empower us to use our talents and bring hope, peace, and understanding to others. May gratitude shape your thoughts, may service shape your deeds, and may fellowship continue to nourish your spirit.
As we approach Thanksgiving, thank you, Susan. You can take your seats now. We will continue with fellowship and mingling, and we'll be back briefly to get on with our program. Back together here, we have visiting Rotarians and guests. Come to my right. Arlen, we'll let you start it off.
Hello, Muskegon Rotary. Joining me today is our presenter, serves as CEO of ICCF Community Homes. Please give a warm Muskegon welcome to Ryan Verweis.
Hey. Okay, well, let's get our mark right here, everybody. So really great to be here today. We have Angie DeLoss, for Executive Director for Ready for School. And we also have Kara Novak, who is on the board of Ready for School and here locally at United Bank.
Good afternoon, Amy Deming from Brickley DeLong, and I am here with Kate Honore. She is a staff accountant with us, a graduate of Whitehall High School and Grand Valley State University. She's a fantastic addition to our team.
Hi, I'm Rob Taylor, and my guest today is David Straight. David, I just met, I don't know, a few weeks ago, recently, and guess how we met? Biking, yeah. Dave's an avid mountain biker, and we got him road biking and riding fat tire bikes in the alleys at night. And he's a graduate of Reese Puffer and had a 44-year career at Howmet. Recently retired this year, and would like to show him what we're all about here at Rotary.
Good afternoon, Tom Palmer here. My friend Adam Birchmeyer. Adam is seeking employment, so I brought him to meet you all, and he knows a lot of you already, so it's wonderful. He has sales experience, nonprofit experience, healthcare, health insurance experience, and one thing about him that always impressed me is that he's a salesman that actually worked. So it's a good thing. So.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Pete DeBoer. I have two guests with me today. Nakomi Levine is with AYA Youth Collective out of Grand Rapids, but she has made Muskegon her home. And Katie McLaren, formerly of Muskegon County Parks, and now with Muskegon Area Parks and Greenways Coalition. So welcome them.
Hi, everybody. Bill Locksterman. I'm pleased to introduce Chris Nance. Chris grew up in North Muskegon and graduated from Michigan State. He's lived in Chicago, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, and Sacramento, working for international PR firms, state trade associations, the White House press office, and Governor Schwarzenegger. He returned home 5 years ago for his son, who's now a junior at North Muskegon, and to give him the benefit of growing up in idyllic North Muskegon. Best of all, he's the newly elected mayor of North Muskegon, takes office December 1. Chris Nance.
Good afternoon, Jim Fisher. I'm pleased to have as my guest today Dominica Montalvo. Dominica is the Executive Director of Tri-Cities Habitat for Humanity. Many of you know that for years we had Habitat for Humanity in Muskegon County. It hasn't been there for a couple of years. Tri-Cities has taken over a portion of Muskegon County, and Dominica is the Executive Director, and she is a prospective member of Muskegon Rotary Club.
Marcia Hovey-Wright, and my guest today is Christine Cleary. Christine Cleary is a retired pastry chef of 32 years, makes the best cakes ever. I even like them, and I'm not a cake lover. She's in my book club and goes to my church, and she's just a delightful person, and she wants to get to know Muskegon, so this is why she is here. She wants to join, or she's interested in joining.
We have no student guests, but you've got student guests. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I confirmed with Marty that he didn't have any guests, so I get to say this. Reese Puffer is in the house. Today we have our guests from the Reese Puffer Interact program. They're going to introduce themselves, and at the end, Ryan's going to give us a recap of how their day is, or their year has gone this year. So,
my name is Grace Cousins. I'm in 11th grade. My name is Olivia Yonkman, and I'm in 10th grade.
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm an exchange student here studying at Reese Puffer, and I'm part of an Interact Club with them. So,
hello, I'm Ryan England. I'm a junior, and Reese Puffer Interact has been doing several community service projects the past year. We've done volunteering at Irish Music Festival. We've done planting dune grass, tree sales. And we did blankets. We donated blankets to veterans at homes on Veterans Day. Sorry, and our Interact Club has grown exponentially over the past 4 years. We went from 4 to 30 in the past. Yeah, so our club is getting bigger and bigger.
Welcome, guys. Outstanding. As we said, there are no student guests per se, but they will be coming after our Thanksgiving break. My Muskegon Minute today is about one of my goals this year was to have Muskegon Rotary Club helping explore the potential of a new local source of Muskegon news, something several of you have discussed with Roger and I and some others. A new local source of Muskegon news is a heavy lift, we are finding. But Rotary is doing an incredible job of informing the community of newsworthy items. I speak of the weekly podcast, Muskegon Rising, in which Mike Vogus and the Muskegon Rising team have been providing informative and insightful audio and video reports. The topics and guests are broad and significant. Consider a few of the most recent episodes. Chris Vanderstelt of AgeWell Services on food insecurity in Muskegon County. Dr. Paul Isley of GVSU on the economic and business significance of the current Muskegon waterfront development proposal. And Angelita Navarro, Valdez, of Services of Hope on the mental health needs of our community. Muskegon Rotary Club's Board of Directors will hear a plan at its December meeting on expanding and enhancing our Muskegon Rising podcasts. In the meantime, please check them out and subscribe either at the Muskegon Rotary Club's YouTube channel or on Muskegon Rising podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So please give them some love online. With that, I will ask Arlen Dean Gotti to come up to introduce the program. Arlen?
Thank you, Dave. Ryan Verweis is passionate about housing justice and community development. And since 2015, he served as president and CEO of ICCF Community Homes, Michigan's oldest nonprofit housing developer. Ryan leads a nationally recognized team of professionals working in housing development, construction, property management, housing education, and counseling and finance. In addition to his role as president at ICCF, he also serves on numerous boards and advisory groups for various housing-related organizations across the state. Ryan served as Director of Operations for the Christian Reformed Home Missions before coming to ICCF, and prior to returning to West Michigan, Ryan was the founding Executive Director of Kingdom Causes in Bellflower, California, an organization that addresses homelessness, works to create affordable housing, and provides employment training and encourages neighborhood development. He was also the executive director of Little House and Our Place Housing Solutions in Bellflower and served on the City of Bellflower's Planning Commission. Ryan holds a bachelor's degree in social work from Calvin College or University, Ryan? It was college when I... Okay. Ryan holds a bachelor's degree in social work from Calvin College and is pursuing his MA in nonprofit organization management from Azusa Pacific. Ryan and his wife Rachel are both close friends of Lysandra and I, and they are parents to 4 wonderful children. Get this, their children are 19, 18, 16, and 14. And he still found time to be with us today. Give a warm Muskegon Rotary welcome to Ryan Burweiss.
Thank you, Arlen, for that warm welcome, and thank you, Rotarians, for the welcome I've received today. It's been so great to be here with you today. As Arlen mentioned, I've got 4 kids, and they're all teenagers. Please pray for me. I'll just say that. And our oldest just got engaged this summer, so we have a wedding coming up next summer. He's 19. We were wondering if it was ever going to happen, you know. I don't know. We love her. She's going to be a great addition to our family. So I'm excited to share with you today a little bit about ICCF Community Homes. So my hope is to introduce you briefly to our organization, tell you a little bit about our organizational why and our strategy for addressing housing instability. And then I'll talk a bit about our work here in Muskegon now. It's a new thing for us, and so part of why I'm here is we are looking to just get connected and build relationships in Muskegon. And so thank you for the opportunity to come and meet some new folks today. So if you'll start my slideshow off. I also have to say, this is the highest tech Rotary or service club I have ever presented at. I've done a lot of these, so props to your AV guy here. I walked in here, I'm like, what's going on? Are we shooting a movie? We are. So for all the folks at home, nice to meet you too. So I want to start with a little bit of participation. So you know our region is pretty famous. We're making all sorts of top 10 lists. So I wonder if you could tell me, what are some of the top 10 lists you know that West Michigan has landed on? Just shout them out, if you would. Beer. We got a lot of beer. That is hands down the number one answer every time I ask this question. It's a good place to be if you like beer. Philanthropy. Yeah, very generous. What? Beaches. Collaboration. That's so true. So we just had a national conference come here that does a national community development organization came, and they were doing a bit of listening in our community, and they said collaboration is one of the foundational parts of our community. So true. What else? What was that? Housing affordability. It's an interesting dynamic. It's affordable in some ways, but there's a shortage. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Amy will appreciate this. I know it's made the list of top 10 places to die. Sorry, so Amy's in hospice, but we're on that list because there's a lot of palliative care, but Amy is here. Basically, that's the number one reason. So all of these things we celebrate, right? Everyone wants to live in a place that other people think is great. And so many reasons to celebrate that. Many of you are part of why we're on top 10 lists as a region. The challenge is when there's that kind of demand and people want to live in a community, that creates, missed one. Maybe not. I'm going to do this, all right? So when you have that kind of interest, it creates housing demand. So I know there's a study done recently that said Muskegon County needs something like 9,000 more units of housing across the spectrum, from affordable to market rate. That's because people want to live here. That's good news, especially good news if you're already a homeowner, if you have secure housing. It's challenging news if that's not you. If you don't own, or if you're in a spot where your housing is a matter of insecurity. So we have what oftentimes people refer to as a housing crisis. And housing crises are not new. They just change. And so ICCF traces our roots, our kind of origin story, goes back to a housing crisis that was prominent in the 60s and 70s. And there was a lot of injustice around housing then. If you recall, there were bank policies of not investing in neighborhoods where people of color lived. There was it's called redlining, where disinvestment was an intentional thing. And that resulted in lack of opportunity and really generations of injustice. And so in the late 60s, that kind of came to a head across the country, there were uprisings. People were frustrated with how they were being treated, and that kind of blew up. And that blew up in West Michigan here. And in Grand Rapids, specifically on the southeast side, there were some people of faith who said, we should do something about that. We should try and address our small piece of that. And so there's a church there called Eastern Ave Church, where an elderly woman who was moving into assisted care said, I would like to be a part of the solution. I want to give my house to the church. And I want you to fix up that house and sell it to a low-income buyer. So a group of volunteers said, we'll try that. And they did it. They enjoyed that so much they felt fulfilled. You know, when you guys are, I'm talking a bunch, preaching to the choir here, service folks, right? When you serve, there's something really powerful that you get in return. And so they fixed up this house, sold it to a low-income buyer. And over the last 50-plus years now, we've been working in housing, ranging from fixing up old houses and selling them to other strategies. So I want to start, though, with our why. We're a faith-based organization. Key part of why we do this is because we believe we're called to love our neighbors. I think that's an important impulse. But the other thing we believe is home is a basic human need, and we should be a part of addressing our neighbor's basic human need. It's also in our community, or in the U.S., it's a way to build generational wealth. And so when you think about the impacts of that other housing crisis I talked about in the 60s and 70s, our communities are still living with kind of reverberating problems from that. And that takes the shape of generational wealth that gets passed on. So a lot of times what's happening right now in the housing market is if you're trying to buy a house, it helps a lot if you've got a grandma or an uncle who was able to buy their house back in the 60s, see it appreciate, kind of climb the housing ladder, and then lend you some cash so you can compete in a market like this. If that's not your family story, that's a challenge. So that's part of what we believe is home is a basic human need. We want to help build generational wealth, but also home is where community is found, right? So we're heading into holidays. If you were to think of what comes to mind when you think of home, it's a place where you're going to connect with your family, have meals. We want to bless people in that way. And then the last piece is shalom. It's a Hebrew word. It comes from the Judeo-Christian tradition. Shalom oftentimes is translated as absence of conflict, but it's really richer than that. It's more than just peace. It's a state where there's nothing missing and nothing broken. And so if you look at the housing space, the housing ecosystem, there's lots of things missing and lots of things broken. So we want to be a part of solving that. So our approach to housing instability is really three-pronged. So it ranges from charity to justice. And on the charity side, if you think about housing crisis, a lot of times what's happening for families in West Michigan is that they're finding the crisis hits very close to home when they see their rent rise $100 to $400 to maybe even $500. That's a swing that a family with limited income can't make. And so they end up moving out on the street. They live in a car. They maybe double up or triple up with another family member, or they stay in a hotel that none of us would really want to be in and certainly wouldn't want to have kids in. We've got families in our community that are homeless. And so the right response to that crisis is a crisis response, which for us it takes the shape of a shelter. We have a shelter, it's called Family Haven, serves 6 families at a time with respectful compassion. Families can stay with us while we try and help them get connected to permanent housing. That used to be something that would take something like 60 days. It's taking more like 120 days for families right now to find housing. Just had a Thanksgiving meal with them on Tuesday night. We have 2 families with 6 kids in them. And so you can imagine if you have limited incomes and limited income and that many kids, there aren't very many landlords who are excited to serve you. So we're trying to help connect those families with housing as quickly as possible. This is one of our neighbors who we were blessed to get to help last year. It's a mom who had moved here from Central Africa with her husband. He didn't have documentation. She did. When they moved here, they were building their new life together. Things were going well. He got caught up in an immigration raid and was deported. She was left with no income, 2 kids, stayed at our shelter for a time, and we were able to help her find permanent housing that was affordable. And when we found that housing, she shared that felt like a miracle. Well, we long for a time where finding a basic human need is not a miracle, right? We think that It shouldn't be miraculous to house kids. It should be sort of a matter of fact, everyday run-of-the-mill thing, but it's not yet. So we've got to do something about that. Second strategy that we work with is development. And when you think development from a housing guy, you might think bricks and sticks. I'm actually talking about people here. So part of what we've focused on from our beginning is really helping people develop their own skills, talents, and achieve their own dreams of home ownership. That takes more than just a building. It takes some basic understanding of what's it take to be a homeowner, how do you get mortgage ready, how do we build a financial plan to be ready to pay a mortgage. And so we have a HUD certified housing counseling program and a homebuyer education class. So we serve about 400 households a year. They come through our class. And actually many of those families that go through our class find out, I'm not ready for home ownership right now. I need a 2-year plan. And so we'll work with them through our housing counseling program to help them build that plan, look at their income, look at their credit, help them get to the place where they're ready to be a homeowner soon. Lastly, so let me say it this way. So if you've heard that adage, if you give a person a fish, they'll eat for a day. You teach a person to fish, they'll eat for a... But what if they don't have access to a pond with fish in it? Or what if the pond that they have access to has contamination in it? So we think about, we want to address crisis needs when there's homelessness. We want to help people develop their individual skills. But we also have to look at our system and the housing ecosystem right now. We have a lot of folks who can come through homebuyer education, but there's no housing that's available for them. And so we try and address that through supply. And my slides are out of order a little bit. So my friends from Community Encompass are going to recognize this. So Community Encompass is an organization that I'll talk about a little bit more in a bit. But when you think about how you solve a problem in a community, oftentimes social service folks are guilty of coming in with a glass half empty approach. We take a needs assessment, we look at all the things that aren't there, and we say, we've got to solve those problems. ICCF Community Homes has tried to take a different approach from our beginnings and say, what if we started from the glass half full? What if we looked at all the resources that are in the community already, and how can we celebrate those, build on those, and then bring resources in? And so when we think about how we can scale up housing in this season, one of the strategies we've approached to adding supply has been looking at our friends in churches. So we're a faith-based organization. We hit our 50th anniversary. We were looking at what's the next season look like for us. And we said we need to partner with churches to help them take their already existing real estate resources and leverage them for that real estate need. So this is an example of a church in Grand Rapids. They had acquired this school campus 15 years ago and moved into the north building and had the south building slated for future ministry. Well, their ministry dreams couldn't keep up with the deterioration of the building. And so over time, that south building, mold got inside, water got inside, and it was in some real trouble. In 2020, ICCF acquired it, and we worked over the last 5 years to transform that into a little village of 27 new homes. And so really a great example of a church taking something that they had, thinking differently about the resource in light of our neighbors' needs and connecting those dots and building housing there. So this is just one example. Our next 5 years, we hope to build 200 new homes in partnership with churches on underused parking lots, underused buildings, really bringing those community assets to life. For those of you who are faith-based, it's kind of we love to see parking lots turned into parishes, right? So that's one of the things we hope to see in the next 5 years. So why am I here today in Muskegon? One, because this is a really cool place. I've come to really love Muskegon already. But over the course of my time at ICCF, I can't tell you how many times people said, when are you going to start an ICCF franchise for Detroit or Chicago? And every time I would respond, community development is about relationships and love of place. And so it's hard for us to manufacture that. We can't manufacture that. So we have, our DNA has been West Michigan, focused mostly in Kent County. So we've not ever had a plan to have global domination. That's not us. But our friends over at Community Encompass, which is an organization that has deep roots in this community, who've done ministry here for decades, who have deep love and deep connection. They know the glass half full part of Muskegon. they've made it overflowing, right? They invited us about a year and a half ago to consider taking the baton for the housing portion of their program. As they've been winding down their work, they were looking for another nonprofit that was sort of similar in ethos to theirs, that could take the housing that they had developed over the course of multiple decades and keep that affordable, keep it high quality. And so we've assumed ownership of 29 homes that Community Encompass built over the years, with the intent to keep those affordable, keep them beautiful, steward them well, and hopefully keep that legacy of place-based connection that Community Encompass has had. So what's our plan for growth? It's actually really slow. So I came here today from meeting with Pastor Greer over at Queen Esther Missionary Baptist Church, and my agenda was simply to meet with him and hear what he sees in the community, to hear from him how would he advise ICCF Community Homes to merge in with this community. He had some great counsel, and that's really why I'm here today. I invite any of you who are leaders in this community, if you have ideas for how ICCF can, one, keep listening, but merge in with the good things that are already doing here. We don't want to duplicate anyone's services. We don't want to go down paths that have already been gone down. We want to merge in well and build relationships. One of the things we've heard early on in our listening is that our homebuyer education and housing counseling is something that would be really valuable in this community. And so in the early part of next year, we're going to be piloting. We'll do a first round of classes. We've talked to the folks over at Muskegon Rescue Mission. They're willing to host us at their CRC, the Community Resource Center. And so that's how we hope to kind of slowly grow. And I recognize I'm at short of time. But I want to finish with this. This is our vision, and this is something that you can see, I think, is true for everyone about their community. We want communities in our West Michigan home to be marked by people who are connected. That's partly why you all come here, I'm sure, is to be connected with people. We want communities everywhere to be marked by connection, where neighbors are thriving and where everyone has opportunity to thrive and to grow. And so thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and share a little bit about ICCF and our toe in the water here in Muskegon. So with that, I'll open it up. I think there's some time for questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question about the people who kind of fall in the middle when it comes to our housing crisis. I've met, and I have even few coworkers who are in a place where they make enough money to live, but currently are about to be homeless because the rent did go up, and there's no place for them to rent that they can afford. So they don't get assistance. They probably wouldn't qualify for being in poverty, but the $1,750 they can't afford. Yeah. And so I wonder, do you all work with people, or maybe the banks, who have to bypass the one thing we had to get our home, which was the credit and the underwriting, to kind of maybe skip that step, or maybe diminish all the requirements, so that these people who are in that little middle range, who actually can afford to pay but can't maybe qualify, get housing on a permanent level?
Yeah, that's a challenging situation because banks have underwriters, right? And their job is to mitigate risk, and risk looks like a financial balance sheet and somebody's debt to income ratio. And so that is a challenge. One of the ways we try and help people who are in that situation navigate that is through education, to help them see. So if they've already gotten to a spot where they can afford it, we want them to make sure that their plan is going to work. The other program we have, though, is something called the Individual Development Account Program, where it's a matched savings program. So someone who goes through our program, who saves $1,000 over the course of their program term, we match that 4-to-1 to try and help with additional down payment. The other thing that going through one of our classes does is it oftentimes qualifies you for other down payment assistance programs. So if you go through and you have a HUD certified certification, you take that to the bank. That helps with some of that. You are naming a challenge. There's this thing called the cliff effect, right, where people make too much to qualify for the programs for low income, but they don't make enough to qualify for standard housing. State of Michigan has a program right now called the Missing Middle. It's actually a program we use to help build the Seymour, that building that I showed you a picture of. Half of the housing units in that development are affordable for folks who make between, sorry, I don't mean to use jargon here, but 80% to 120% of the area median income. So that's a drop in the bucket. I get that. So the other answer I'll give is adding more supply at every price point will help folks in that situation, hopefully. I'm sorry, it's probably not a satisfying answer, but we all got to work together on that, by the way. And that will take both people who give to help make housing possible for folks who can't without extra help, but also when you hear about zoning changes in your city that allow for potentially smart density, ways that builders can build housing, more housing in smaller space. Those are things that help with the overall affordability. That's probably another topic for another time. But any other questions? Thanks for asking. I forgot to do that. So ICCF stands for Inner City Christian Federation. So Arlen was on the board of ICCF for 6 years, and during his tenure, we did a branding study because Inner City Christian Federation's got a little bit of 70s vibe to it, right? So we were like, maybe we should rebrand. And at the end of our study, and all the experts told us we should keep the acronym because it had such a strong kind of recognition in our community, but to add the community homes piece to help clarify, because I'm not really sure what a federation, I mean, it sounds Star Trek-y, and we work here on Earth, not in space, so, yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. My question is, when you're doing your education piece and you're talking to new home buyers, are you targeting areas where they have strong NEZ areas? Like here in Muskegon, the neighborhood enterprise zone, it can save significant amount on your taxes for 15 years when you're buying a new house. Are you targeting those areas, sharing that resource, and kind of educating the buyers on how they can leverage that for affordable housing?
So we will share any resource we know about. So our team is kind of, that's their expertise, is to stay up to date on all of the various additional resources out there. We don't really target anyone. We actually don't do a lot of marketing even. It's a lot of word of mouth. People hear about what we do and come to us. We've partnered with other nonprofits in Kent County where they'll send their potential homeowners to us. If you have folks in Muskegon, I would love to get their name, or when we get that, the specifics on our class, I'll certainly give you information about that, our pilot, yeah.
Last question.
You mentioned the word franchise, so do you sell franchises for this, or?
Yes, we do, for $250,000. No, we're a nonprofit organization. I mentioned just that we had been invited by multiple other communities who like our work and wanted something like an ICCF in their community. They had asked if we would come set up a branch office. I used franchise. I'm sorry, for those who are lawyers, business lawyers, franchisees, I don't mean to denigrate the term. So.
Do you pay property taxes on the houses that you guys have?
We do. That's a kind of a pain point, actually.
Well, you use services, but it would make the housing more affordable.
It certainly would. So in 2017, we purchased 200 homes, scattered site homes from an out-of-state slumlord. We had heard about the homes coming on the market, and we thought somebody with a heart for justice and for our neighbors should buy those. And then in prayer, I think, Arlen, you were on the board at that point, we took a leap of faith, and we bought out the slumlord. The single largest operating expense for that portfolio is our property tax. We pay something like $400,000 a year in property tax. And most people think, oh, it's a nonprofit. You guys don't pay tax, right? I wish. And we're actually trying to navigate. There's some state policies that have been passed recently that we're trying to leverage that could help us do that. Because really, we would pass that savings on to our tenants. We're not trying to, $400,000 a year is no joke, a lot of money. So.
Thank you.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you for your interest.
Thank you for that message, and welcome to Muskegon. I think you'll find fertile ground here for what you do. Speaker's honorarium this year will be Muskegon Rotary Club donation for supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact clubs as they take service trips to El Salvador and Honduras. Birthday slide, Michael? Oh. John Rupert, Karen Kays, Robert Mathis, Emma Peterson, Craig Person, Kirk Holman, Gary Neeland, and Roger Morgenstern. And yes, if you could give $10 as a birthday gift to the Caring Connection, we would be eternally grateful. You've got cards up here, envelopes, QR code. It's also each week in the rim. So, big 6-0, eh, Raj? To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for starting the song for me. No inductions today, but we've got a whole list. So we're going to have a lot in the coming weeks. But we will start with our spotlight video. Rotary in Action is going to be a Rotary International Foundation video, as this is the month of November, which is a Rotary Foundation month. And Mike.
Whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world it will be known by the results it achieves. Paul Harris. Rotary set out with the purpose of doing good in the world. This vision became the Rotary Foundation. You have shared that vision, and because of you, we've been able to achieve Last year, this family got clean water. Last month, this child learned to write. Last week, this woman started her own business. Yesterday, these students trained to be peacemakers. And from today, this child will be protected against polio. Progress to end polio. Rotary is responding to the humanitarian crisis caused by the war in Ukraine. Clubs around the world are focused on relief. Seeing how the rest of the world has responded has been amazing. The International Rotary Network is delivering food, water, and essential items. Providing medical supplies and equipment. Sourcing housing and transportation for displaced people. We just need to make sure these people are safe and that they get what they need to survive. Relief efforts are supported by over $15 million of donations. More than 20 countries have received grants to support relief efforts. We're doing a small part. It's just a drop in the ocean, but millions of drops make a difference. When people need water or basic education, we provide access. When people lack opportunity or proper health care, we strengthen economies and invest in solutions. And when conflict arises, we promote peace in sustainable ways. Together, let's take action. Contribute to the world's potential and create lasting change. The Rotary Foundation, Rotary's own charity. Because of you, the Rotary Foundation is a reality. Because of you, the world is a better place. thank you.
As we honor, celebrate, recognize the Rotary Foundation Month here, I thought no better person than to have Nancy Crandall come up and give us a couple of personal words. Nancy, a past president, obviously along with husband Don, have been big supporters of the Rotary Foundation. And as a past chair of the Community Foundation for Muskegon County, she knows a little bit about foundations and giving. Nancy.
Thank you, Dave. I haven't usually been called a big anything. I became a member of Rotary in 1995, so I've been hanging around here for a long time. In 2007, Don and I went on a mission trip to Honduras with a group of Rotarians that had been attending a district conference and decided that excuse me, that they wanted to do something concrete to help, to give service above self. So our district, 6290, and a district from Kansas put their efforts together and organized a trip to Honduras to install water filters in rural mountain villages where there was no water. We saw firsthand how Rotary makes a difference in the world, and how an individual can contribute to making that difference. And that says to me what Rotary is, what Rotary Foundation is. And that's the reason that we have both become givers to Rotary every year. The program is every Rotarian every year. Meredith talks to us about that all the time. We have an opportunity to do that when we enter our Brave Rotarian contests and try to figure out where in the world Dave Alexander is. But pooling money from all over the world makes a huge difference in places where things are needed. And as a number of us who have traveled to Honduras in the past have agreed, you can be a member of Rotary, but to be a Rotarian, you need to take part in giving, providing service above self, and being a part of the Rotary Foundation. So I hope you'll think about it. And you don't have to give a lot, but the point is making a contribution every year. It's very easy. You can do it online on the website, sign up for whatever amount you want and whenever you want to give it. But making that contribution every year really makes a difference for a lot of people.
Thank you, Nancy, Don, and all those who have contributed. I am and I think it was Josh Wallace who introduced that concept to me when he was president of every Rotarian every year, and I've tried to continue on with that challenge. I'm not about you, but in my email inbox, yeah, Raj, I do look at it. We had a Rotary Foundation release about Charity Navigator and receiving 4 stars for the Rotary Foundation. And this is the 17th year that we received the top rating from this particular highly accredited charity navigator that goes out and looks at charities and how they perform and how they are using your money going forward with the missions that they have. So good to see that there. I think we're on to getting some Paul Harris Fellow money away. We got to get a little bit closer, Meredith, again with our Brave Rotarian contest.
Thank you, Nancy, for sharing why you contribute to the Muskegon Rotary Foundation. And again, it is the easiest way to direct your money to the charitable cause that we're all here to support. And so we try to do these fun contests to get you engaged and, a little competition to see who might win a Paul Harris Fellow. So Mr. Vogus, if you could pull up that wheel, we are going to bid farewell to 2 more Rotarians this week. Oh, Susan. Yes, Wonderland Distillery in the heart of Lakeside is a favorite spot for Dave and for Trent and I as well. So one more time, Mr. Vogus. Oh, it's the Susans today. So, Susan Besteman, thank you for participating. Where is Dave Alexander? Unruly. It's all about drinking. There you go. So, as Nancy said, you can go on to the Rotary website. You can contact me for information. You can also participate in one of these wonderful contests. We will have March Madness kicking off at the beginning of the year. So, this is a great way to get involved, and that charitable rating of 4 stars is fantastic. That means that your donor money is going to the causes and not to the Rotary to administrate those programs. So thank you.
Meredith and Ginny Sprague, who is not here, but who has been very instrumental in our participation and our support of the Rotary International Foundation. Thank you for your work on behalf of this club. We have time now for announcements. You can come to my right. If you have a brief announcement on a club committee or event, next Rotary Rewind meeting is scheduled for 5:15 tonight. That is at the Vault, the Core Plaza building. We had a very nice new members gathering on Tuesday, so all of those that were there, thank you for attending. Check in the RIM and your email for bylaw amendments scheduled for membership vote on December 4th. Slate of officers is also sent out for officers and directors for the 2026-27, and that seems like a long time, but not that far away, to be voted on at the annual meeting on December 11th. I just have to take a point of privilege because this isn't anything to do with the Rotary except a great Rotarian has done it. If you've not been over to the Muskegon Museum of Art, you need to see Twister again. The dedication's today. It's at 5:30. You can have a talk with the artist, Alice Aycock, and that is in the MMA tonight at 5:30. It is spectacular. And Judy Hayner, Judy here, out doing work on the efforts tonight probably, and the public art team, marvelous work. So let's give them applause. Sarah.
Hello, everybody. I am bringing an announcement on behalf of the World Services Committee, which is newly chaired by Susan Crane and Linda Juarez. So we are super excited, and actually this comes perfect timing with Nancy's, what she shared and also the video. But coming to you to share an opportunity that really is embodying of the spirit of Rotary, service above self. So between June 21st and June 28th, our club will be partnering with a Rotaract club in Tegucigalpa, Honduras, and a nonprofit called Chispa, which you guys should be familiar with by now. For the 3rd year in a row, we are going to be working with them in an elementary school to build a school library. So this is actually the first one for the school. You guys have heard testimonies from fellow Rotarians in the past and some students who have participated in the past about the impact of this projects like this. Kids who really have very limited access to books, getting to enjoy a space where they can learn and grow and dream, and we get to be part of that work. So we know that this work isn't just about building shelves and stacking books. It's about that, but it's maybe even more importantly about building bridges between communities, between cultures, between Rotarians who all have this shared vision for change in the world. So our World Services Committee has a new goal this year. I'm super excited. This is Linda and Susan doing their brainstorming with each other. But we are going to be creating educational opportunities for Rotarians to better understand what it means to be a global Rotarian. So in the coming months, World Service Committee and the DEI Committee are going to develop and offer these to Rotarians, little workshops. You know that historically our club's international work has been mostly in Central America with El Salvador and Honduras. As a club, you've seen it on some of those videos, we've done everything from, you know, water source infrastructure to latrine building to housing building to library builds. So both these workshops and kind of the upcoming trip are chances to kind of deepen our understanding of what it means to be a Rotarian in an international world. So whether you have traveled internationally or not, I just hope that you will consider this opportunity. It is really can be a life-changing experience. So for now, just sit with it. Let it simmer. If you have questions, if you feel the nudge about the trip, certainly reach out. Thanks much.
So, of course, when I was paying attention to everything that was happening, I was looking at the weather. It's 44 and misty today. You don't want to be outside today. Tomorrow, it's 47, and there's a little sun icon popping out from the clouds. What a day to go plant some trees. I'm here for my friend John Noling, also as co-chair of the Environmental and Sustainability Committee with Andrea Rigler. So we've got a bunch of interactors. We've got OV, Muskegon High Interact, and then 75 interactors from Muskegon Montessori Academy for Environmental Change, right around the corner from Dune Harbor Park. That's where we're going to be tomorrow. John, he likes trees. Not sure if you knew. 3,950 native tree seedlings are going in the ground tomorrow, and they need help. So this is happening from 9 to 3 tomorrow, meeting at the Lincoln Street parking lot. Muskegon Area Parks and Greenways Coalition is also going to be there. So it'll be fun. If you've got an hour, if you've got all 5 hours, come out. It's going to be a great time, and continue to add to Dune Harbor Park and the restoration of that area. That's an old sand mining site. It is transforming. If you haven't been out there lately, and the ability for nature to come back and us to nudge it along a little bit with these trees is a great thing. So if you've got time, we would love to see you out there tomorrow. Thank you.
I don't often have to do that. Just a quick announcement, Interact Committee, we are meeting right after this meeting as close to 1:30 as we can across the street at the chamber offices. And if any of the guests that are here that are interested in learning more about Rotary, our December orientation will not be the first Wednesday, it's going to be the second because of conflicts with schedules of our chairs. So the second Wednesday we'll be over at the Shoreline Inn doing our orientation. Please make sure that we have your email if you're interested. Thank you.
I've asked Rob to come up as we enter the holiday season, just to give us a little inspirational talk about what he talked about at Rotary earlier, one of the programs in terms of what we can do to assist our neighbors, our friends, and those people in our community. Rob?
Hello, everyone. This past Friday, at City Boy, our food pantry served 179 families, 555 people in a single day. These are our neighbors right here in Muskegon who are being squeezed by rising costs of food, gas, and housing. The demand on our pantry is growing faster than our resources, and we are struggling to keep our shelves stocked. And as Rotarians, you understand service above self. I'm asking you to consider partnering with City Boy through donations, volunteerism, and connections to help us make sure no family in our community is turned away for hunger.
One place amongst many that we can help this holiday season in terms of helping those who are looking to us at this point in time. Mary Beth, do we have Mary Beth? There she is. We have a raffle. What are we starting with? $5. $486. Oh, other side of the room. For $10. $360. Marianne? Drawing for 20. $351. $351. There we go. Thanks, Mary Beth. Next week is Thanksgiving, if you haven't caught on to that yet. No Rotary meeting. We will meet the 4th of December as we come back from that holiday. My favorite holiday, celebrating thanks with family, friends, food, and football. We hope all of you spend time with family and those you care for. Go Lions. We come back together again December 4th. Our program will be an update from Stuart Jones on the Grand Valley State University Water Resources Institute. After the bell, as we mingle, I will play Jackson Brown's Loadout Stay in background in honor and appreciation of our meeting crew, Mike, Kim, Jay, Kevin, along with those here at the Delta who have served us today. Thanks for making our meetings so meaningful. Members, guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's unite for good. We are adjourned.